Hello everyone, and welcome back. Today in the workshop we have the Crimson Queen Japanese maple, and I believe this is its going on third year from initial root chop and initial foliage chop, or structural pruning, if you will. I've been contemplating for quite some time now a couple of things I've been wanting to do to this tree, and I think I've come to the conclusion that now's the time to go ahead and do so. I was hoping for a couple years that I would get some back budding in this straight area here, and I have not, which kind of stinks. It's almost at the same height as what the apex is here, which is not cool with me, and it's almost at the same height as this branch over here as well, which is not real cool with me. So I think what we're going to do today, even though I'm almost completely healed back here on the back side, well, not completely, I mean it's got some really great healing going on there, is I think we're going to have to cut it off. And I think we're going to cut it off back to this, because this is alive and doing well and growing really well. I've got this back here, this at the bottom, and I've got this one back here at the back, which will all fill in and feed this apical portion to assist with healing in this area. Now, conversely, on this side over here as well, we've got very similar situation. And again, we've got nothing in this area here, and I was hoping to get some back budding. Now the dilemma that I face is, if I cut both of those back, are they going to be at the same level again, number one? And number two, is that going to cause an issue with the eye? I think initially they could be almost at the same plane, but they're not. Because I would be cutting this one back to here, and I would be cutting that one back to there. So as you can see, if we stick something across here, if I can find something long enough to stick across there to show you, you'll see that they're not quite at the same plane if we cut them back to where we're cutting them back to. Just use this for a visual aid here. I'm going to cut this one back to here, and I'm going to cut that one back to there. So almost the same plane, but not quite. But I think what will end up happening is the tertiary branching that's around it, once it grows in, will grow into the point where you don't notice it as much. It's just I have a problem having 8 inches of trunk branch here with no, or 8 inches of trunk with no branches. This one here's got about 4 inches of trunk with no branches, which that's fine and dandy, but this one really is bothering me, and has been bothering me. And from the beginning I cut it back to there, thinking that if it didn't get anything there, that I would be going further with it. So as much as I hate to do it, now is the time to make this cut. Like I said, it stinks because I've got all this healing back here going on. Now I'm going to cut it all off and ask the tree to do it all over again. But that's part of doing bonsai. get these tools, get started on getting this whittled down to a realistic looking taper. I think that looks a little better already. And you know, we've got these branches here cover up the wound site. We've got a nice back branch we're going to bring out to here to fill in this whole area back here. So we've got what we need already, and I just think that was unnecessary. And I'm thinking the same thing over here on this side. I think we need to take this back to here and utilize what we have here, and maybe this back piece right here. This one's actually going to be a reverse cut, which I don't necessarily recommend, but sometimes it is necessary, which will also help to give the visual aid that maybe we'll just do it with tool. This is going to be a pretty good test for the Bonsai Vision concave cutters. We're just going to go at this with several small cuts, not trying to take off too much at one time. It's just too tight in here for the saw. And as you can see, by taking some graduated bites at it, we can achieve what we set out to do with the saw with this tool, which is remove that ugly portion of this tree in favor of something much better looking. Again, this tree is only a couple of years in development, so I recommend making these decisions sooner more so than later, because you don't want to have all this grown up and developed and getting ready to go and looking all nice, and then have to come back and make some big gnarly cuts. I mean, I'm guilty of doing it myself, like on that Sangukaku. I just feel ultimately it's going to be a better tree now. But we are going to need to allow these branches to grow freely for quite some time, 2, 3, 4 growing years, and we're going to need to prune back and or off everything that we're not intending to keep. Now as well, so you don't have reverse bulges, nasty looking stuff like this here growing straight up. Can't have that. This is about dead. This is not. These little we are going to pour the fertilizer to this one this year. And when we do that, it's going to jump. And it's going to jump big. So we've got to make sure we've got everything off of here that we don't want now, like this growing straight up. All this is just going to have huge extension growth this year. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wire this into position, and I'm going to wire it up kind of around this location here. No, maybe not. I think I'll maybe just wire this one up here, because this one needs to start taking off. This one's already kind of in an upward or upright. I'll probably wire that part of it straight up like that. Not a whole lot of wiring going to be going on this tree. Okay. Pretty satisfied with that for this year. So we'll just do a quick 360 on this one. And get it back out on the bench. And one more thing, I just remembered. I've got a couple surface root issues down here I wanted to address this spring. I got this root here that's growing straight up, and directly beneath it's a way nicer root than what it is. Just want to eliminate it. There's a little one coming off over here. Okay. Got the same type of situation going on here. I got this goofy one here. It needs to come off. It's not doing me a whole lot of good. Okay. Alright. Well, I'm pretty happy with that for this season. Seems how the season's just now getting started. Get these back out on the benches. I'm going to pour the nitrogen into this one as well as a few other ones just to get them to really start taking off and getting a lot of expansion, growth, and thickening of these tertiary trunks, if you will. And we'll go from there. As always, we'll end with our 360. Thank you for watching.